is happening, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Ty from Ty Drives. A very excited Ty Drives today because sitting in front of us is the 2026 Cadillac Escalade V, and this is an ESV too, so it's the longer wheelbase, and we're going to be checking out all the features this ESV has to offer. And of course, it's in that famous Aegean stone metallic color. This car looks awesome. But quick overview of the video, we're going to do all the features that it has to offer on the exterior. We'll then move our way under the hood, get a nice exhaust clip because man, this thing sounds good. We'll then check out the trunk space, the third row, the second, and the first row of seating and kind of all the technology in between. Now, in case you're wondering how the V is to drive, we are going to drive this in a POV fashion in a completely separate video. So you can either wait till the end of this video to see a link for that, or just head on over to my channel, Ty Drives, to see that. But let's start off the features on the front end, where take a look at that head-on view. This vehicle has some massive, unmatched presence. Up front, we have the full black grille with the kind of V shapes, and we have the monochrome and illuminated Cadillac emblem with the camera at the bottom. Now, there are parking sensors here, and we also have the big sensors for the Super Cruise and Adaptive Cruise, and a camera towards the kind of side air inlets for night vision. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this has night vision. And one more thing I wanted to check out up front is our headlamp. So kind of split into two units here, but our main headlight unit towards the bottom houses our LED high-end low beams, as well as cornering lights, daytime running lights, and turn signals. And we have a little bit of lighting up top as well. Looks very good, all illuminated. And this does have the Onyx package, which means kind of all of our accents are blacked out. So pretty cool. And that's pretty much the only option this V has on it. Down here, part of the Onyx package are these 24-inch wheels, and they're wrapped in 285/40 tires. Huge wheels. And to get this vehicle to stop, we have 6-piston Brembo red painted brake calipers and giant rotors. We even have parking sensors at the side for our parallel and perpendicular parking assist. All of our side accents around all the windows are glossy black, including our mirrors and the beautiful V emblem. At the bottom, we have power deployable running boards, which we'll see in just a minute, and some more glossy black accents. But our mirrors house ground lighting, cameras, LED turn signal indicators, and our blind spot warning. All 4 door handles are illuminated, and you also have the smart key entry on both the front door handles. Now, the window sticker isn't installed on this vehicle at the moment, but we have a $179,240 sticker price. So quite the sticker price, but also quite the vehicle. Our fuel door is on the driver's side and doesn't have a cap, so you can stick the nozzle right in. And we have our typical vertical style lights for the Escalade. So as of the 2025 model year, the Escalade got a nice refresh, mostly interior updates, but some exterior updates. The headlights are a little bit different, the taillights are a little bit different, and take a look at them, all illuminated again, just like the front, all LEDs for your turn signals, tail lights, and brake lights. Now back here we have some more blacked out accents, again thanks to that Onyx package. Your Escalade badging, your Cadillac badging, and your V-Series badging are all blacked out. We have some subtle black accents on top of the cameras and towards the bottom where your parking sensors, trailer towing hitch, which by the way, this can tow 8,000 pounds, and your quad dual mode exhaust pipes are housed. And of course, just like I said at the beginning, we will be getting a nice exhaust clip on this vehicle. Now, our Cadillac emblem actually acts as our hood pop, or our trunk popper, so you just press that in. And we have 2 sets of cameras back here, one for your standard reverse camera and the other for your camera mirror. Now, I don't want to go any further in this video without mentioning my very good friends at Blazius Cadillac of Waterbury, Connecticut, for providing me this beautiful Escalade V for us to film today. But I wanted to extend the next part out to our viewers. What do you guys think of the styling on this Escalade V? I think I already know the answer, but let me know in the comments. Taking a look underneath the massive hood of the Escalade V, they let you know that it's the Escalade V with the branding on the hood installation. But under the hood on the regular Escalade, we get a 6.2 liter V8, 420 horsepower. But under the hood of the V, this all changes. It's still a 6.2 liter V8, but right here is a supercharger. We have 682 horsepower in this monster and 653 pound-feet of torque. This is just an absolute menace, this vehicle. And we're going to do that test drive, and we're going to do an acceleration test as well. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Everything's all hooked up to a 10-speed automatic transmission and a permanent all-wheel drive system. So on the regular Escalade, you can switch between 2-wheel and 4-wheel. This is just permanently all-wheel drive. Let's take a listen to the roar of that V8 at the tailpipes. Okay, no doubt about it, that is the best sounding vehicle I think we've reviewed this year, but we still have to check out the practicality. The ESV has a huge amount of trunk space, and in the Escalade, you still have the option to open up just the glass, which is pretty awesome. There's not a whole lot of SUVs out there that still give you that option to just reach in, grab your grocery bags without opening the entire trunk. However, you can if you want to. And, of course, it's fully powered. Just an absolutely massive trunk in the ESV, and these aren't the second row seats. These are actually the third row seats. So take a look at how much space there is behind the third row seats, and then you could fold them down. So we'll fold down just one side so that you can see how much space there is behind the second row of seats. I mean, that second row seat looks like it's about a mile away. So if you wanted to take your Escalade V to Home Depot, you could power fold your third row seats and slide in some lumber if you really, really have to. Now, as far as other amenities back here, we have all the switches for your power to third row, power release second row, and a kind of three-prong household style outlet. There's also a spot here for a cargo protector. You have a space for a cargo net and cargo tie downs. Very nice sill plates to enter the trunk and a bit of storage underneath the cargo floor. We also have a couple of speakers for the 38 speaker AKG audio system, which is just phenomenal. It's truly, truly amazing. So, yes, this Escalade has it all. It's got the power, it's got the luxury, it's got the storage space. Let's check out the third and the second row seats next, because you will be surprised. Okay, rear seat time. I purposely left the rear doors closed to show you that the doors are powered in this vehicle. It's just, the luxury doesn't stop, and we have just started checking out the interior of this vehicle. It, of course, has the powered running boards as well, and all four of the passenger doors are powered. But take a look inside. We have the jet black semi-aniline interior, so one of the highest grades leather you can get. We have contrast stitching up top and on your armrest. We have this gorgeous carbon fiber trim, which you can really see the depth in the weave of the carbon fiber. Of course, lots of metallic accents and some glossy black. A couple more AKG speakers, on each of the doors and your pull tab for the door, we have the window switch, lock, unlock, and tons of space in the rear here. Now, there are kind of two different configurations to the second row of seatings. We have actually the standard set, so captain's chairs. However, you can get a executive second row seat package, and you can see exactly what that is in my Escalade IQ review. But basically, you get a fully fixed center console in here with tray tables and your own center control, which is unbelievable. So unfortunately for this video, we'll just have to make do with these captain's chairs, which we have this beautiful quilting on the seats, Cadillac crest, and your foldable headrests, your deployable armrests for either chair, and we have two handles. One you could pull once to fold flat for kind of a maximum cargo, and then you could pull this handle once more and it'll kind of tumble the seat up for easier access into the third row. And our second handle is to simply slide the seat back and forth. What do you say we hop in, check out how much space and the amenities for the back, and we can close the door simply by pulling the handle. We also have soft close doors, which has a mechanism that pulls the door shut if it hasn't been fully shut already. Now, front and center in front of us right here is our kind of two displays. We have dual displays in the back. Now, what this is for is displaying media and various small car information. So we have vehicle status, which will tell us like your fuel range, trip information, and how fast we're going. And then we also have some options to pair up your Bluetooth headphones, things like that. But you can also hook this up to like an Amazon Fire Stick, which is pretty awesome. Then you have access to Netflix, YouTube, you know, all that kinds of stuff. So you could watch Tide Drives in the second row of your Escalade V. Back here we have a full rear climate control, so we can kind of toggle that on. We have heated seats in the back, kind of where you want the air to blow, fan speed, your own different temperature, and a passenger heated seat. We also have cup holders, and the lid to our cup holders is all leather lined. How luxurious is that? Now, I'm 5'10". I adjusted the front seat to a normal driving position for myself, and of course, there is tons and tons of legroom. Now, even if you wanted to give the third row passengers a little bit more space, you can pull the handle, and even at its forward-most positions, my knees are just barely touching the back. So, long story short, tons and tons of room. Back to the rear of the center console here, you have a couple of USB-C connections, 2 HDMI connections, and a household power outlet. And again, this seat is kind of as forward-most as it gets, so that's pretty awesome. We have a full suede headliner. We have air vents, LED illumination, speakers in the headliner, and coat hooks for either side. Now, I'm going to use the the kind of pass-through here in between our captain's chairs to show you what's going on in the rear. So, even with this captain's chair fully scooted back, and again, keep in mind I'm 5'10", still have a couple of inches of legroom, and it's not like an awkward position or anything that you're sitting in. And for the third row, you have USB-C connections. You also have a nice padded armrest right here, some storage cup holders, and a button to get out of the third row to fold up the seats with some illumination and, again, air vents. So a nicer third row than some vehicles have second rows. And for frame of reference, this is with the second row scooted all the way forward. I have tons and tons of legroom. What do you say we hop out of here and check out the front next, because there is a lot going on. So upon opening up your front power doors, you have very much the same trim as in the back. So same very nice leather, contrast stitching, carbon fiber and metal, and glossy black accents. But we have a few more switches, such as the window switch, power folding mirrors, and the rest of your mirror adjustments, and the lock and unlock. Bit more storage at the bottom of the door, and guess what? Another speaker, because where in the heck are you going to put 38 speakers on the inside of a vehicle? I know this is a big car, but there are speakers everywhere. We have an air vent right below here, nice little V emblem. And we also have your driving mode selector right here, easy access, and your air down and air up for the air suspension. Now, this car also has magnetic ride, so it both handles pretty good given the circumstances of a full-size body-on-frame SUV, and it rides amazing considering it has 24-inch wheels. Again, more on that in our test drive video. But down here we have our parking brake, an integrated trailer brake controller, because again, you could tow up to 8,000 pounds, and a gauge dimmer. Down here you have your hood release, which is actually surrounded in stitching and leather. Don't see that too often. And some very nicely aluminum accented pedals. Very soft carpeted floor mats, illuminated entry sills, and your infinitely adjustable driver's seat. Take a look at how beautiful the craftsmanship is on these seats. You have speakers in the headrests, ton more stitching and quilting and piping. And here are most of your seat controls. We have our normal up and down for the front and the back of the cushion, back and forth. This is your massage button, the kind of blank button there. The backrest, your four-way lumbar, and this little switch which will open up more seat adjustments, such as your tightening and loosening of the backrest and separate shoulder adjustments, which we'll get into in just a minute. But let's hop out of this very windy day and inside the Escalade V. And now that we're seated in the Escalade V, wow, take a look at that new dashboard. We have 55 inches of screen, which is just insane. I mean, this car is just about all kinds of crazy numbers, like 55 inches of screen, 682 horsepower. I mean, 38 speakers. I mean, this is just crazy, this car. It really, really is just about the wow factor. Even the key is different on the Escalade V. We no longer have just the Cadillac emblem. We actually have the V emblem, and it's painted to match the brake calipers. Very cool design cue there. I like that. We have a little button on the side to release a physical key in case you need it. We have a lock, unlock, remote start, trunk release, rear glass release, and the panic alarm on the key. So very, very nice looking key. And our remote start is right at the back. And every time you start it up, you get to listen to that symphony of the 6.2 supercharged V8. Here we go. That is what I'm talking about. So, first things first, let's get started with our steering wheel, which is actually, again, different than the regular Escalade. The regular Escalade, you kind of get a two-spoke design, and it's a little bit of a bigger wheel. This is nice and small. You have some wonderful grip bolsters and a little bit of a sportier accent down at the bottom. And again, no Cadillac emblem, just the V emblem on the airbag cover. So really, really accentuating the V aspect of this vehicle. Now, as far as the functionalities go on the steering wheel, we have our Super Cruise, which is basically hands-free driving on highways and more main roads. Not a full self-driving, kind of like Teslas do, but pretty darn close to it. Again, for main roads, and you have a sensor at the top here. It, of course, has adaptive cruise control as well for the roads that aren't mapped by Super Cruise. Now over here, we have some kind of touch capacitive buttons right here for the Super Cruise button and all of your kind of adaptive cruise control buttons here. We have our heated steering wheel and our V mode button. That's the fun button, which kind of puts the vehicle into kind of its most sporty mode. We also have a button up here to shift it into manual mode, which is pretty awesome, and some more reset and set for the cruise control. On the other side, we have a kind of selectable button which has to do with our digital dash and a audio volume, skipping between different radio stations, selecting our source and our pickup hang-up for the Bluetooth phone, and your voice commands. Now, one thing I'm not the biggest fan of are these kind of touch capacitive controls. Do they work great? Yes, but they do produce lots of fingerprints. As you can see, I've just been using this vehicle for the past, I don't know, maybe half an hour, and they already have fingerprints on them. But behind the steering wheel, we have some, take a listen, real metal paddle shifters, which is nice to have, shift that 10-speed transmission around. We have the controller for our power tilt and telescoping steering wheel. Also our wipers and washers for the wipers, our regular, intermediate, and automatic, and the rear wipers, as well as your turn signals and your automatic high beams on the left side. To the right, we actually have our gear selector, so no more floor selector, back to the old column shift, but an electronic alliteration of it. So what you do to shift it into drive is pull towards you and down. You'll see the D lights up in red, and you also have the gear indicator right down here light up in red for you too. If you want to put it into reverse, do the exact opposite. So pull towards you and up, and at that point your camera system will pop up on kind of our main screen. A bunch of different camera options which we can go over now. We of course have the top down and then reverse camera. We can choose between, you want a standard reverse camera or a top down or overhead. Side for the rear wheels and a hitch view. You can then switch to the front camera, which is a normal, an overhead, and a side again for the wheels. So that's pretty cool. We have some camera options here and some trailer related cameras as well to keep an eye on the sway of a trailer when you're going around a corner. So that's pretty cool. To put it into park, there's just an N button right over here, and again, what gear you're in will light up red. Let's take a look at the gauge clutcher, which is right in front of us. It is fully reconfigurable, and as you can see, we have it set up in our kind of gauge setting. So over here we have our speedometer at the top, and a line below it is our tachometer, and right below it is our fuel gauge with our distance till empty. This thing definitely sucks down from some fuel. According to the window sticker, you'd be spending around $15,500 more over 5 years than your normal vehicle. So you definitely don't buy this vehicle for fuel economy. But other things such as your lane keep assist visual over here, you have a digital speedometer, a compass right over there, and your total mileage or your odometer. You can also have audio display over here if you'd like, but the way you reconfigure this screen is you can press down, and that will bring you to your Google Maps, which is pretty darn awesome. Takes up this whole entire section of the screen, but it also shows you your essentials right there. We can move down from there into a driver's assistance screen, which will show your adaptive cruise and things like that. Then we can also go into your night vision. So you remember at the very beginning of this video, I pointed out the night vision camera. We do have that here, and as you can see, very cool. You can see right out in the front. And the next one, or maybe one of the coolest visions here, is the AR camera. So this works in conjunction with the built-in navigation, or I should say the Google Maps navigation. And when you come up to a intersection, you'll actually have arrows exactly where to turn. So very, very cool AR view here for the gauge cluster. We'll bring it right back to our gauge. And up top, we have a nice soft to the touch dashboard where there aren't speakers, which there are plentiful. We have A-pillar speakers, center channel speaker that goes all the way across, and a very nice heads-up display. Next, that brings me down to our kind of next segmentation of the 55-inch screen, which is right here. So we can use this as a touchscreen, but I kind of prefer to use down here with our kind of main kind of selectors and the kind of rotary dial, since the screen is a little bit far away to touch. So we'll kind of go in and out of some of the menus here so we can get a brief overview. This is kind of your maintenance and trip computer style, and we can also select different gauges to view our temperatures and pressures for your oil temp, oil pressure, coolant temp, and transmission temperature. We also have our G-force gauge, engine boost for the screw style supercharger, and our battery voltage. And then we can go back to home. We can view the My Cadillac app, Google Assistant, which is your voice commands. We also have our Google Play Store. We can download apps. We have wireless Android Auto and CarPlay. We can pull up our camera, a dedicated trailering screen, which is pretty cool. We can also get over to our settings, which there are plentiful, to adjust your power doors, sound settings, all kinds of good stuff in this vehicle. You can also go over to ambient lighting, which another big number, 128 different colors that you could choose from the ambient lighting. So that is super, super cool. You can customize the colors, brightnesses, styles, modes. It's just a super, super cool ambient lighting setup. Moving on over, we have our automatic parking assist, which I was talking about earlier. In the Wi-Fi hotspot, you can see the name and the password. We have our recordings for your surround vision recorder, which is very cool, almost acts like a dash camera. Then we can go into our audio screen here too, which you can kind of select a source. So if we go into Sirius, we can see what's playing over here and over here. Very, very cool. And you can change our sources at the top and get your presets at the side, and then change different channels right here. We can also get into our Google Maps, which is our default for our kind of built-in navigation, which is very, very nice. In addition to the Apple CarPlay, which I was talking about before. We have our phone entertainment hub, which has to do with customizing the rear entertainment screens and our passenger screen, which is very, very cool. And that's pretty much it for our touchscreen. So very nice and simple. Just, you know, basic tiles that you click in to get more information. You also have some shortcuts at the very bottom for your home, kind of an alternate home screen where you can see navigation and audio. We have audio, maps, phone, trailer towing, and to open up our glove box, which is decently roomy. Taking a look down below this giant carbon fiber shelf with metal accents, we have two air vents down here and another touchscreen, which mainly has to do with climate control and some customization of like seats and things like that. So what we're looking at right now is our climate control. We have our 2 temperatures for up front. We can then go to the rear, so we have 3 climate control zones in this vehicle. And we have some shortcuts kind of for your temperatures and the fan speed in the middle for your defrosters, front and rear. Recirculating sink and AC. We also have some shortcuts buttons in the middle. We'll get to that in just a second. We'll go over here to the rest of your climate controls, which controls where the air comes out, and also toggling it to the automatic. If we press on the seat button, that will allow you to control the temperatures of the seat. There's no real physical buttons to turn on the seat heating and seat cooling, but they are all, you know, pretty relatively quick access within this bottom touchscreen. So we have our back heating, our back and bottom heating, your air conditioning, and your heated steering wheel, although again there is a button for the heated steering wheel on the steering wheel itself. We have all of our passenger adjustments. We can even turn on the rear heated seats, which is interesting. Then we can go over to the top into our massage function. So tons of different ways that you can get massaged: roll, knead, wave, relief, and glide. And then you can adjust the intensity, and again you can do the same for the passenger. Now if you press the position button, that allows you to adjust the position for your memory seats and just the position of the vehicle itself. So you can adjust the forward and back of the seat itself without even pressing the controls. You can do the fore and aft for the recline. You can also do the tilt for the bottom cushion. And then you can also go into adjustments here, which is your party trick. Then you can adjust your upper shoulder. You can go back and forth with that. You can adjust your lumbar and your side bolster support, so you can go back and forth on that. So tons and tons of different positions you can adjust this seat. And of course you can also do it for the passenger. If we go into our switches down here, we can kind of go into our safety tab, which will adjust your child safety locks, power window, conversation enhancement, which will actually take your conversation and move it towards the back so that the third row passengers can see, or I should say hear, your conversation. And we also have the rear control lock, so I'll lock out your rear controls. If we do the drop down, you can get more controls, but you can go also into park, which has your parking sensors, automatic parking, rear automatic braking, and pull up your cameras. Then we can also go into doors, which is where you can actually open all 4 doors from wherever you like in the vehicle. Now that's cool. Talk about service for your passengers. You can also access the lock and unlock for your door locks, your glove box and your child locks from this menu as well. Now if we go back into our controls tab, we have some more things such as your lighting for your automatic high beams and your regular headlights. So no actual switch for your regular headlights, it's all within this touchscreen. You can also go into universal garage remotes, which is your garage door openers built in. You can also activate and adjust your night vision controls. Also your heads-up display controls, you can activate and adjust those. And then we can also move in and out your power assist steps manually. Right over here with our little light bulb, that'll adjust your regular headlights. You can turn on and off your lane keep assist with this button, and also quickly pull up your cameras right down here. This button here will adjust all of your passenger seating and heating, cooling, massaging, things like that for the passenger seat. Down here you've seen these controls before, and I adjusted the screen using mostly this dial and the shortcut buttons and the volume knob down here. A couple of physical buttons down in the center console as well, such as your hazards, your four-way hazards, auto hold for the brakes, and your climate control. You turn it on and off. We have a bit of a storage area here for your phone, but we do a wireless charging pad for your phone right over here. 2 cup holders and a nice soft center console which you can lift up, and inside we have a refrigerator with a freezer mode. That is pretty damn cool. The features just keep getting better and better in this Escalade V. You also have a USB-C and a regular USB connections, and in case you're wondering, these boxes inside here are our AKG branded headphones for the entertainment system. You saw our glove box before, but you didn't see our passenger screen. So the passenger has their own entertainment screen and it's set up almost identical to the rear touchscreens. Now with this one though, you can actually scan that little QR code and make your phone the controller for the screen. So you can really lay back and lounge in this screen here, not have to move forward and touch it. Now one of the cool elements is, you know, Cadillac, for obvious reasons, doesn't want you watching YouTube on Tide drives while you're driving. So when you put the car into drive, that screen becomes blank. So it's very, very cool. But yeah, same functionalities as the rear screen, but very nice to see that for the passenger. Up here looking at our headliner, again, suede, more speakers in the headliner. And also suede continues into our visors, which are illuminated and have mirrors in them. Our center console has quite a bit going on. We can turn the interior sensors off. We can also turn the interior lighting off when the doors open. We can fold up and down your third row seats from up here, which is pretty awesome. And you have some tap illumination with your trunk control, so you can just press in the center button, the trunk will open. But you can also adjust the height, a max way, 3/4 way, and just turn the power function off in case you have a low garage floor, like low garage ceiling like I do. Some more buttons up here for your sunshade for the sunroof. Then we have the tilt and the slide for the sunroof, as well as your OnStar and SOS controls. And the sunroof is doing its job, sliding back. We have a nice full panoramic roof. And one more final feature before you get to click on our test drive video is our camera mirror. So you can either choose to do a regular mirror like so, although it doesn't really give you a whole lot of view out the back. It's a pretty small window looking all the way back there, or you can just go to the camera mirror and have a full clear view right out the back. There's also some adjustments for brightness, for zooming in and out, and for height. So this video has finally come to an end. I know this has been quite the long features review, but there are some serious amount of really cool features that I didn't want to leave out in this Escalade V ESV. So at this point you should be seeing that button for the all-important POV test drive review coming onto your screen there. I thank you very much for watching. Make sure you check out that video and all the rest of my videos as well. Again, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to catch you next time.